Hello, welcome back to Young's Crossing. My name is Lawan if you've not been here before, and I do all kinds of different things. I never know what I'm going to do till I'm doing it. But today, I'm going to try to fix this old rocker that's been in our family for a long time. It has a rope bottom on it that my sister did years ago, but it just needs to be redone. The rope is old and out of, not that anyone's going to sit on it because it has a crack in the one of the rockers. And so I usually put, like, I have a porcelain pot of flowers I put on it lots of times and just sit it somewhere in the house kind of out of the way. It was on the porch, but I felt like it might be limiting its longevity more. So I decided I'm going to cut this out, and I'm going to do a process that I did on my just regular straight back chairs that I have out on my front porch. On the front porch, they didn't weather real great, but in the house it should be fine. So I found these in my toolbox that I got at Goodwill, and really they were the last ones that I thought would work, but turns out they're working. So I'm going to do this and cut it in various places and pull it up. I'm going to cut a few more of these and then I'll come back. My sound quit for some reason, so I'm doing a voiceover for just a little bit. I was doing things the hard way as always, cutting at random spots, and it occurred to me all I had to do was to cut all around the edges and then it'd lift right out. This corner gave me a little problem, but I got it cut and out it comes. Easy peasy. After I got this out, I realized the crack wasn't in the rocker at all. It was in one of the uprights, but my husband thinks he can glue it and then he'll put a little nail in it and he thinks it'll be fine. I decided I'd take a break after that, and I'm going to end up having to paint the chair, and I'm going to paint it back pretty much the color it was, and then I'll do the weaving process that I'm going to do for the seat of it. But in the meantime, I've brought out this journal. I've not read from it yet, and I thought I'd just read one little bit out of it. Sunday morning, we were getting our two oldest grandkids, Madison and Caden, ready for church. They had spent the night with us. Just before leaving, Madison said, "Let's take our babies to church, Caden." They were each about 4 years old, and they'd been playing dolls. She said, "I'll take Edgar, and you can take Pink Baby." Maddie had named her beautiful little American girl bitty baby that we got for her Edgar. One time before, we took her to church, and a lady asked her, "What a pretty baby doll. What's her name?" Madison said, "Edgar." And she said, "Excuse me?" And she said, "Edgar." She just had known a baby at her daycare, and the name was Edgar, and she just liked that name, so that's what she named it. Well, I had to take a picture of these two before we left, and I'll insert that here. Poppy was concerned about Caden taking a doll in church. I thought it was cute as all get out. When we got to church, Madison said, "Hey, Caden, I've got a good idea. Let's put our babies in our car seats and leave them in here during church." Poppy said, "That's a real good idea." So he was relieved. I thought it would have been so cute. Anyway, when they were in high school, I got them to reenact the picture for me. and I loved it. It wasn't the same baby dolls, but it was close enough. And they had such a good attitude about doing it. And I'm going to pick a picture of that right here. And then we'll go back to the chair. Good morning. I'm out here in the cold. I don't know how cold it is, but it's cold. My picnic table needs painting, but for now I'm using my drop cloth on it. And I got my rocker out here, and I'm going to sand it down just a little more, and then we're going to paint it. It's funny, I can see here that at some point someone had put felt on the bottom of the rockers. I don't know if it's because they had worn through here or what. While I'm doing this, I was going to tell you that I wanted to organize my bungalow more. Unfortunately, I can't just use it for my fun stuff, but we have to have a place to store more things. And like my husband's grandpa said years ago when we were going to build this house, he said, "What's wrong with the house you have?" He said, "Well, Papa, we just don't have room for all our stuff." And he said, "Well, you ever think maybe you have too much stuff?" We've laughed about that through the years. But anyway, I was going to tell you, we went to Walmart and they had those huge tubs, all that were Christmas ones, like they'd have red lids or green lids. Some were all green, some were all red. But the clear with the red lid and green lid were ones I liked. And then they had the under the bed size too. The big 18-gallon ones too. Anyway, they were from $3.50 to $6. And most I got were $3.50, $3, and $5. I couldn't believe it. I got so many, and I've already put so many things in it. So up in the top loft of my bungalow where I had cute things set up, like my old school desk and my child's ironing board and all that stuff, I kind of had to shove them back for now and put these tubs up there that are loaded. And it looks so much better in there, but I wish I had another storage building. But we've got several now. That would be ridiculous. Anyway, I think I've got enough of this off. I can paint. Now comes the part I hate the most, shaking the can. I'll spare you that. Now comes, maybe I've got it shook up enough. And if you haven't got one of these little devices and you do any kind of spray painting, this is marvelous, marvelous. This one's from Rust-Oleum, but I'm sure there are several kinds. It's warmed up quite a bit out here, which is all right with me. So I'm going to put my second coat on. I kind of went over it a little bit after the first, but I'm going to put a second coat on now. It's not going to be a great paint job, but I want it to appear rustic anyway. I was just going to leave it like it was, but it just had to have something done. After this coat's dry, I'm going to call it good. In the meantime, we'll go inside and I'll show you what I have planned for the bottom, the seat. Okay, I'm back. I'm going to use all different kinds of fabric to weave into the bottom of my rocker. And I know the colors, you look and you think, oh my gosh, but I'm going to cut, like, let me do one here, probably about 1.5 inches, I guess it is, and then just tear it. And first I measured around the seat of the rocker with a piece of this bias tape. It's because I didn't have my tape measure out here, and I've decided that I need at least this length so I have room to tie it off. So I had to go through, I have a lot of fabric, but I wanted to go through and be sure and get the ones that have enough length to them. And this one does, so I'm going to do it about 1.5 inches and tear. I'm watching an old movie. I've never mentioned it, but I love old movies. This one is People Will Talk with Cary Grant and Jean, I don't know how you say it, Crane. Anyway, I love it. I've watched it no telling how many times, and I can continue watching it. I have several favorite old movies. That's one of mine. I love most all Cary Grant movies. He's such a distinguished gentleman. Then I love, when I was a kid or younger, I just couldn't stand to watch Bette Davis. And when I got older, I learned to appreciate her talent. Sometimes she gets a little bit, I don't know, you'd have to see it, the movie, to know. But now I love her movies. And let's see who else. Those are the main ones. This is another one of my favorites, All That Heaven Allows. I prefer black and white movies most of the time, but these that are done in, I think they call them VistaVision color, I just think they're so pretty. And this has Rock Hudson and Jane Wyman, and it's another one of my favorites. I have lots of old favorites. And I like the old TV shows too, the black and white ones like Andy, Lucy, Beaver, all those. I was trying to get my grandson interested in those when he was little. He said, I don't really like the gray movies now. So. Anyway, I'll cut some more of these up, watch some more of my movie, and I'll come right back. I'll have to do a voiceover for just a little bit. I'm just taking random pieces, not doing a pattern or anything in colors, just getting one, tie it from front to back across the whole thing, tie it underneath tightly, and then we'll trim it later. We're going to go all the way across doing this, and then we'll turn and weave the other direction. I don't know why my sound keeps going out, but it did. But all I've done is I'm tying strips of this fabric I tore and just putting them across at random, put them across the top and tie them underneath. I did this to my chairs out on my front porch, and they just faded, seemed like quick, but it may have took longer than I realized. I don't know if there's something you could spray on them to keep them from fading as much, because my porch is really well covered. I don't understand. And I had them pushed under a table, so who knows. Anyway, as you can see, this is all I'm doing, just tying them around, and their ties are underneath, but I'll trim those off later. Not to be concerned yet. And I'll be right back. Now, I trimmed off the long ends, and if there's some left, not to worry, because you're going to be able to tuck them up under. Okay, now I'm going to go weaving through. Under and over. And I'm going under both thicknesses. That will make it a little bit sturdier, tighter. Okay, I'm going to push that to the back a little. And before I tie it underneath, I'm going to go ahead and do another one. This time I'll start over, then under. You know, we used to make these with construction paper as a child, or making pot holders on a loom. I don't know what that noise was. Probably a squirrel dropping an acorn on my roof. When you get to the end, you'll just pull it over. Now I'm going to show you. You can wait till the end to do it, but I'm going to go ahead and show you right now. Just pull these together. And tie them as tight as you can. Like that. Like that. Anyway, gonna continue doing that, and then I'll show you what we have. Here's my chair. Rather wild color, but it turned out well. Here's what it looks like. Considering it's just out of scraps I had around here. If you don't have scraps, what I did last time, I did the porch chairs, I went to the Goodwill and bought sheets, and that worked perfect. Okay, usually I have something such as this on there. And hold on. Well, that looks terrible. What I usually have in it's blue bonnets, and I haven't got them out yet. But this will give you an idea anyway. Guess I'll just have to keep moving it around till I find the perfect spot. With the Afghan hanging over the back of the chair, I think it kind of neutralizes it and it's not quite so in your face, bright colored. But I still have to have something in the seat to keep people from sitting on it. So I'll just continue to work on that. That's it for this time. I appreciate you watching, and if you liked it, I'd really love a thumbs up. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.